Eiffel Tower listeners, Oliver G here with my trusty First Lady sidekick, Lina!
Me! Woo!
La First Lady.
Yes,
How are you settling
thank
into
you
that
very
role?
much. I mean, my digs are quite small.
Your digs?
Yeah, my digs are small.
Who says my digs?
Is that a thing? I've been watching Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
What?
Anyways,
Okay.
I'm good.
Let's.
How are you?
Yeah, I'm really good.
Yeah.
If you're new around here, I'm sorry. It's usually a bit more organized than this.
No, it's very organized.
Yes, sure.
Yes, just a bit silly.
It is a bit silly because it's a new year and
We're in a good high spirit.
we made a pact that we'd be positive this year as we were last year, and what better way to be positive than to share? It's kind of like New Year's resolution.
Some trust in the future of sorts.
So what we're going to share with you is an idea I came up with a couple of years ago. It's called the Paris Bucket List. And Lina and I sat down. By the way, if you're brand new around here, Lina is my wife.
Hi.
The reason I was calling her the First
I'm also
Lady...
a really cool and exclusive guest. Yeah,
a regular.
hard to get.
And the reason I call her the First Lady is because in recent months, or weeks even, this podcast became a company. And in France, when you run a company, they call you Le Président, the President. And Lina and I run it together, and I asked if she could be the First Lady. And they said no, not officially anyway.
And I gracefully accepted.
So what we've done is we've written down 5 things we want to do. Here are the rules of the bucket list before we get into the episode. 5 things you want to do in Paris in 2021.
Ranging from 1, the easiest, to 5, the hardest.
And we did this exact idea, I think 2 years ago, and I invited a good handful of friends.
Yeah.
So in the end...
We were like 10, 15,
yeah,
20 people.
Yeah. So
It was
all of
cool.
us had 5 things to do, and the idea was we invited each other. So you'd go, hey, today I'm checking out that bar I've always wanted to check out. If you want to come, you're welcome. And as with 2 years ago, I'm hoping some friends jump in, but also that you listeners jump in. If you've got plans to come to Paris, write a bucket list and send it in to us. I'll tell you how at the end of the episode if you're still listening. But Lina, are you ready to get into it?
Buckle in, buckle up. I don't know
we'll-
which one it is, and listen sharply because here we go. Toot toot.
So, to go over the rules again, 5 things, and you have to complete them before the year is over. What is the punishment?
Well, the punishment we had last time was that you have to buy a pint of beer for anyone who completed their list.
That's right. And out of the 10, 15
yeah.
people that we had, I think only 2 people completed.
Yeah, it's
And,
cheap year for us.
and it was cool, like the last, I didn't complete.
But now, oh wow, if we're gonna invite, everyone,
Yeah.
this is gonna be
The
expensive.
punishment is we'll get back to the punishment. But the
Yeah.
idea is you should finish the list. You shouldn't do a list that's too hard, and that's why they start out easy. They're things. The whole concept is things you've always wanted to do in Paris, but you've never done.
Just never get around to it,
Yeah. It could be a cafe on the other side of the town. It could be a restaurant. It could be something wild like going to Disneyland. And Lina and I, we've lived in Paris for 6 years, so these are things we haven't done in 6 years. If you're just a tourist, maybe they're really obvious things, like climb the Eiffel Tower, and that's fine.
Totally.
Just make sure you have 5 things if you wish to compete. We will start, Lina, I think, with your list. I've got it written in front of me, so I'll kind of quiz you to explain
What I have written.
Yeah.
Okay, sure.
So your first thing on your 2021 bucket list is the Marché d'Aligre.
Yes.
Have you been there before? You've been there, haven't
Well,
you?
I've been to the marché, the market, but it's not just the market in itself that I lost for. I lost for a specific bar, actually. It's called Le Baron Rouge, and I want to go there on a Saturday and have lunch with a bunch of friends and do their champagne and oysters thing.
I see.
Yes, they're famous for it, and it's not like it's a local classic.
So for those who,
I've heard. I don't know.
For those who don't know what we're talking about, 12th arrondissement, Marché d'Aligre. It's like a kind of, I think David Leibovitz
Yeah, maybe
recommends that place.
Yeah, it might be that might be where
Yeah.
I've seen it.
Yeah, a
Maybe.
famed chef who's been on the show a couple times. I think he's a listener. Hey, Dave.
Hey.
He says he's a listener. So I think he's talked about that place too. So you want to have champagne? It has to be on a Saturday?
I mean, I just picture in my mind like a nice spring Saturday, lunchtime, hustling and bustling.
I would say that's an ambitious for one. For
Yeah.
number one.
Is
which is
it?
meant to be the easiest one.
Yeah, but I feel like that's sort of easy. It's
I
not
like your style.
too exclusive. I think it's like cheapish as well.
Yeah.
It's nothing too crazy.
Cool.
Yeah,
And yeah,
happy with that.
I like it. Okay, number 2. Yeah, it just says Symphony in Villette here.
Yes. So there's this in the Parc de la Villette at the very like far end of the Canal Saint-Martin and like onwards, beyond. And you have this newly built Philharmonie.
Yeah, so it's like I think it's called the Philharmonie de Paris.
Yes, and it looks amazing. It looks like the inside both the outside and inside looks like a sort of like sea creature anemone. Is that a thing?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Coral reef building. It looks really, really cool. And I just want to go and listen to some beautiful classical music there.
I
Would be
googled it
amazing.
while you were talking. Is this here the silver outside one that you're talking about?
Yes, so it's like a UFO coral reef.
I
There
love
we
it.
go.
Okay, so I heard some of our friends went there a while back, and we thought they were very cultured and
I know.
and refined to do
Yes.
such a thing. So
And
what do you
I
want-
too
So what
would
do you-
like to feel so refined.
And what is it that you want to do there in this place?
And just go and listen to, what do you call it?
A show?
A show.
Sure. Okay.
Some
I love
music,
it.
yeah.
That's a good one to do. You
Yeah.
just I assume the tickets.
And again,
aren't-
it's not too crazy. You can
No.
obviously get really nice, expensive tickets, I'm sure, but you can also,
I
it's
think I remember
doable.
it's like €10 or something.
Yeah, it's totally doable.
Okay, good one. And I should say, but I'm sure there's someone at home with a pen and paper writing this stuff down. I'll put it in the show notes.
Yeah.
I'll put it. It'll be
Don't
in the
worry.
scrolls for Patreon members. And will you put it on your social? Will you deign to put your list on Instagram?
Sure, why not? Yeah, I'll do it tomorrow.
Okay, I'll look out for that. At Parisian Postcards number 3. Getting tricky here. Learn to make croissants
Yeah, that's a bit of a
you mean like-
ambitious one.
from scratch.
Yeah, you can take courses. I've seen a bunch of different ones. I don't know if they're still going to be around, like these specific ones, but I'm sure someone somewhere in Paris
Yeah.
will have a croissant making course,
Yeah.
and it would be amazing.
Would you do it in English, French?
Whatever is possible, you know.
Would you?
Wouldn't that be nice? Like
Yeah.
my very own croissant from scratch.
Well, okay.
That.
We made over Christmas in Sweden. Lina and I made something called lussebullar, which is like saffron buns with raisins in them.
Yeah.
And there's a very specific shape that you're meant to do.
Yeah, it's
And-
like a little double snail shell.
Yeah, figure
Sort
eight
of.
kinda.
Yeah, sort of.
And
like
we
an S.
went off the rails and made all sorts of different shapes. And I'm wondering if you plan to do the unholiest of unholies and make a different shape croissant as
But
well.
of course.
Or you're going to be kicked out of that class. I want to come to that one.
Yeah.
So on that list, I do want to come
Okay,
to the other ones
cool.
as well.
You're welcome.
Okay, learn to make croissants. Fun. Good lists. Number
So
4.
far, so good.
Number 4.
Yeah. Is it too hard, do you think?
There is something that we're being purposely very positive about this, but we don't know what will be open and closed in
Yeah.
2021. I would say so far all of your things, if the worst comes to worst, could be closed. Whereas mine, there are some things that I'll get away with.
Oh dear.
But on a positive
What's
note,
yours? Like walk down the Champs-Elysees?
yeah, mine, no, half of mine you can do without buying a ticket to it,
Okay.
essentially. But that's a cool one. But number 4, you've got Tour d'Argent.
Yes. I
Could
do
you
have that
explain
one.
that for the listeners?
Well, it's a restaurant that is on the left bank,
Mhm.
I believe.
Sure is,
Not
yeah.
on one of the islands.
No.
I was very
It's-
confused around there.
It's directly across from Ile Saint-Louis.
That's right. That's right. And it's one of those famed ones. Really lovely dare I say it? Michelin star.
Dare you?
Dare I say it?
I don't know.
I haven't actually looked into this too much. I just keep hearing about it and keep hearing how amazing it is. And I've also heard that the film Ratatouille, you know, with the mouse who cooked, and it's based on that restaurant. Not that they have, you know, vermin.
Is Ratatouille a mouse
I
or a
hope.
rat, by the way? Huh? Is he a rat or a mouse? I honestly don't know. I feel like he could be a rat.
He's a
Could it be a rat?
He's a rouse mat, a rouse or a mat.
So that restaurant, I've seen that before. They got the entry right across that beautiful bridge
Yeah.
from Ile Saint-Louis, and then it's up on the top floor with the windows.
Yeah, so I don't know, is it the whole building or do you just sit on top or down? I don't know, but it
No.
looks amazing and I'm intrigued.
Do you suppose it would be an expensive meal?
I suppose it might, yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
But
what do you
it's-
think?
yeah, I don't know. A fact about Lina and I in 6 years in Paris, I would say we could count on one hand the times we've been to an expensive restaurant.
Yeah,
What do you think?
yeah.
One hand?
Oh, it's a small hand.
A small one hand.
Yeah.
So, that's not me looking for pity. That's just pointing out how little we know about the fine side of dining in
So
Paris.
it'd be really fun to, you know, try to
I'm
experience
looking
a
forward to-
little bit
yeah.
more of that side.
And that's the other reason for doing these bucket lists, is giving a reason. So you don't have to go, for anyone who wants to play along with us, you don't have to wait for an anniversary or a birthday or whatever. This is the special
Yeah,
occasion.
you
We
just
create
go.
it. Yeah. And so the idea
Because
will
if
be...
not now, when?
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly.
And I wish that we, well, not wish, I never try to say like, I wish we'd done this, because it's such a boring and negative way of dealing with things. But it's cool with these bucket lists. Like, it makes you do stuff that you wouldn't otherwise
For sure.
do.
On the last bucket list I had on mine, one of them was to take a cruise, like a boat cruise, down the Canal Saint-Martin. Because I'd always seen those boats go down through all the locks, and I've always thought one day I'll do it.
Yeah. And
I
it's
just
so
never did it.
typical. It's typical when you live in a city, you never do the touristy thing.
Exactly.
So-
and then I did it
and
on my
now-
birthday, remember?
Yeah, it was great. And now when everything's been closed for like, you know, a long time, year, you realize all these things that you've been putting off, and like, yeah, one day I'll do it, and then, you know.
It's a great the Tour d'Argent. I'm looking forward to it. Number 5, it says stay in a nice hotel.
Oh wow, yeah, okay. I realized that I am getting, you know, I have a theme here. And it's quite an exclusive theme.
So a nice Paris hotel.
But yes, again, you know, I was talking about, you know, when you live in a city, you never do the touristy things in that particular city often. And I would like to feel like a tour. I would like to get the tourist version of Paris, because it's been a while. It'd be amazing to go to a beautiful, nice hotel and have a lovely room and just get that experience and pretend it's like first night in Paris, that sort of thing. And I think you can really quite easily simulate that by not being at home.
Do you have a hotel in mind?
No, but something like
You're thinking like
Maurice.
the Maurice.
The Maurice. Or the Ritz. I don't know, something fun, like silly fun.
That would be really cool.
Yeah, wouldn't it? Just one night, you know?
Yeah.
So
If you okay,
that's on my list
if
too.
you could pick
What do you think?
I would love to. I love hotels.
Yeah.
I love to
I think
stay
we
in a
should do it.
hotel. Yeah.
Also, by doing all these things like that we don't usually do,
Hmm.
it's like it's a way of, because we're supposed to be somewhat experts of Paris because we lived there for
yeah.
a while, and we can't recommend these things. We can only recommend
That's
things in
true.
a certain range.
I get a lot of emails from people asking me. A lot of the times I get these emails, I suspect people don't listen to the show and they just Google Paris account and they message like, "Where's a good hotel?"
Yeah. It's so rude as well.
Nah, once I got,
And it's not even like, hi.
I know. Once I got an email from someone that was just like, all it said, an email, not even a comment. And it was like, good. It said like good restaurants near the Eiffel Tower? Question mark.
Yeah.
And I responded really politely. And the person responded, "Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I didn't think anyone would read this." I was like, "Why did you send an email?"
Just like,
Yeah,
oh.
I read the emails, folks. Hey, maybe there'll be emails at the end of the episode. What was the one you were going to say?
Well, I once had one that was like, best way to get from to Paris from Charles de Gaulle.
Oh,
I
yeah.
was like, oh.
Yeah.
Well.
But you're right. It's true. People do ask
Sure.
for advice, and now you want to be able to say the Ritz when
Exactly.
there's hotels. Fair enough.
Fair enough.
Okay, so your list, really good.
Yeah.
Just, climbing in order from 1 to 5.
I
I'm
know,
looking
and
back through it.
climbing in price as well. But
True.
that's fine, it's fine.
So, oysters, symphony, croissants, tour d'argent, nice hotel. It says a lot about you as well.
Does it?
You like the dolce vita, as they might say
Or-
in Italy.
Maybe I'm just intrigued by that life and don't,
yes.
you know, usually...
I like it though. I love it. Do you want to read my list to me, or should I just
Should I
do it?
interview you?
Yeah, here you go. I'll give you my
Okay.
list.
Alright.
She hasn't seen my list, folks. So
So on Oliver G's list, we have number 1. So the
most simple.
most simple one. Taste Montmartre wine.
The idea.
What do you have to say for yourself?
Well, that's the easiest one because all you got to do is walk into the Montmartre tourist office and say a bottle of the wine, please.
Is that the only place where they sell it?
Yeah.
Really?
So if you brand new to all this like sort of Montmartre wine and the things I talk about like this, it's been on the show a bunch of times. There's a little vineyard on the north side of Montmartre that makes wine that apparently isn't very good. They sell it for €40 a bottle. I asked the mayor, I had the mayor of Montmartre on the show once, and I was like, "Is it good?" And I wish I can remember what he said, but he was like,
How do you say no without?
he was very diplomatic. He was like,
insulting.
it's a very unique taste. I was like, yeah, there you go.
Okay.
But I'm gonna, at 40 euros, I'll go buy a bottle and invite some friends, and we'll see if it tastes any good.
Sounds great.
So there you go.
Yeah.
That's super easy to fix as well.
Maybe sit on the steps of Sacré-Cœur.
Is that illegal?
Is it?
Is it? I don't know.
Is it?
To drink and sit on the
Oh
steps?
dear.
I don't know.
Well.
Even better. No, I'll do a nice thing. I'll do it at like someone's house or something, and we'll all taste it and be all professional and sniff it and all that. So that's easy.
And then have some other wine
Yeah,
afterwards.
Yeah.
Chaser.
Or before. You have other wine before, good wine before.
Yeah.
So there's number one, really easy to fix. I'm surprised we haven't done it.
I know, me too. Alright, moving on. Number 2, we have Pet Cemetery.
Oh yeah.
Well, that's very morbid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Is that
right,
for Halloween?
right before, funny that you say that. So right before one of the lockdowns, I was going to go out there with Amber Minogue, who I went down the sewers with, the sewer museum,
Oh,
which
wow.
someone emailed me the other day. So sometimes I get emails from people and
She's
they,
a good friend,
yeah.
you know.
She's probably listening as well. Hello, Amber. Someone emailed me the other day, and when they say, I get an email that says, I binge listen to every single episode, I almost always respond, what was your favorite episode? Like, what stood out from the 200 or whatever? And this person said the sewer episode, and I was like, that was fun. And I went down the sewers with Amber Minogue, and we covered our noses and took the microphone. And I was chatting with her the other day, and her and I talked about this pet cemetery on the northern sort of limit of Paris.
Yeah.
I guess it's northwest, and it's where all the animals are buried. So all the gravestones have pictures, not pictures, but statues of dogs and rabbits and stories and all this.
It really sounds very like campfire ghost story.
Could be. I don't know anything more about it than what I've just said. So
Yeah,
we were going to go out
okay.
there and explore it, but there was a lockdown the day that we were going to go. So I'm going to do
So
it.
just outside of Peripherique. Well, that's an interesting one. So on number 3, your very medium, it's medium as they come, difficulty of tasks. You have put expensive drink at St. James. Has to be expensive. Okay.
I don't know why
Did you get
I wrote
inspired by me?
Maybe. So there was, I think it was...
Expensive drink. So not just like...
I don't know why I wrote
That's
that.
stupid.
So, Forrest Collins from the Cocktail Queen of Paris,
Yeah.
52 Martinis, was on the show once, and she recommended this place. It's a chateau in the 16th arrondissement in
Yeah,
Paris.
we walked past once.
Yeah.
We stepped, like, we dared to put a foot in, but not much
In,
more.
as in there were gates.
Yeah.
You couldn't... Yeah, and I think it's closed as we speak, but it is a proper chateau in Paris, which sounds crazy, but it's true.
It
And-
was really, like, I had no idea that existed.
Yeah, it was lovely.
Yeah,
And I
and it's
looked-
such a residential
Yeah.
area.
It's unusual. Everything about it was
Yeah,
weird.
yeah, very
and
interesting.
Forrest said it was good for a drink, and I just assumed everything is expensive there. And my thought was, I'll tell you why I put expensive is because I'd like to get friends together for that. But if you said to any group of friends, including ours, hey, let's go for a drink at this bar,
They expect, you
They
know,
expect a
happy
bar.
hour
Exactly.
pints.
so I'm going to message them all and say, hey, let's go for an expensive drink at the St. James Hotel, the only chateau in Paris. Everyone will be ready
Keep
for
your
it.
wallets ready.
Exactly. Everyone will come with 30 euros for a cocktail ready.
Okay.
So I wrote it, and I just want to go check it out.
Sure. What do you want to drink? What do you think they have?
I don't really mind. I often think you go in those
Are you a
places.
cocktail person?
Nah, I could have one, but I don't really care. Like
Gin and tonic,
No, but it could be a beer. For me,
Yeah.
those places it's all
but
about.
an expensive one.
Yeah, it's all about just being in there. Those like a pint's are going to cost 20 euros in there, so it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what you get.
Yeah.
It's like the Hemingway bar.
It's
It was
the
more fun to
experience.
be in the Hemingway bar. Like you leave talking about the bar,
For sure.
not the drink that you had. Except they put the roses in the ladies' glasses. Remember
Yeah.
that? That was cool.
Yeah, I do remember that. In fact, I saved one.
Uh-huh.
And it's a very special one because we went there when we got engaged and I saved that very rose.
Lovely story.
Yeah.
Page 1, 2, and 3 of my book.
Well, there you go.
You know my book, Paris on Air, published in April 2020. When it comes to April 2021, I'll never talk of it again.
Really?
Yep.
Wow. Are you going to delete this episode too?
No, I just won't push it anymore.
Okay.
After a year, you've pushed it enough. Like,
Yeah.
yeah. It might come up in passing, but yeah.
Interesting.
1 year, I think that's the limit.
Wow. What are you going to talk about then?
The new book, I don't know.
Something new.
Could be.
Something borrowed,
Children's
something
book.
blue. Yeah.
Anything.
Kylie.
Mm-hmm.
Or a new one.
Anything. Maybe the St. James Hotel.
Intriguing times.
St. James Hotel sounds like it's straight from a Bob Dylan song.
Yeah, it does.
Mm.
And it would be like the market man and the bishop
yeah.
or the clown and the juggler.
The old Bob Dylan. The bishop walked in the St. James Hotel. The only chateau in Paris.
They had an expensive drink.
The undertaker was there serving the cocktail.
Oh, people are switched off by now.
Yeah, no, it's okay.
Yeah, okay. Number 4.
Yes.
Underground Lake of Opera.
Yes. And the Phantom of the Opera was
Is
there.
here. Yeah.
That's
okay.
the old Bob Dylan. The new Bob Dylan would be more like
Did like the Santa Claus?
yeah,
The Christmas album?
We played his Christmas album.
Oh, it's
no,
really?
but the catacomb, the underground of the opera. I've heard there's some lake. I've heard there's some water down there. I don't know how to get down there.
I heard it's just like a toilet leak.
Really?
No, I'm joking.
I put it at number 4 because I think it'd be hard to get to. I don't think the regular tour guide will take you down there, so I might have to pull favors or I don't know. Try and wrangle my way in.
I think you should take. You should buy a ticket, go to the opera, sneak down.
Sneak down.
Yeah, that's a cool way to do it.
You know, I'll reveal the truth. A friend of mine was dating a girl that worked there, and she said, "Oliver, I'll take you down there," and they've since split up. And I said to the friend,
very disappointing.
I won't mention the friend's name in case he's listening, but I said, "Oh, so sad about you and the girl." He's like, "Yeah, so sad." And I was like, "It'd be wrong of me to take the tour down to the opera house, wouldn't it?" He goes, "Yeah, it would be so wrong."
It's a very Seinfeld.
So
Imagine you like. And, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it is a bit Seinfeld,
It
isn't
is.
it? Mm-hmm.
That will come back. Maybe.
Or that's the other
Why
thing.
not?
These, by the way, or if we manage to do any of these 10 things that we're mentioning, they'll feature on the show or on social media, or they'll come back on the show. That's the other thing I thought writing it is there'll be cool stories to share with you guys. So I was thinking of you. I was thinking of you guys. It's not just about us.
Generous mind.
Listen to you here, number 5.
Yeah, you put the blue train.
Did I?
Yeah.
The train bleu. The train bleu. I'm sure some people out there who
What
have not
is
switched
it?
off are nodding going, this guy's got taste. Because this is a restaurant in the 12th arrondissement. And I'll tell you something, I actually contacted them. Do you remember I was doing the episodes going through all the districts?
Yeah.
At the start of last year, then the lockdown ruined it. The point that it got ruined was between the 11th and 12th districts. And I'd contacted Le Train Bleu and I had organised to meet with one of the senior staff there to do a podcast episode. And it was all going to go ahead, and then they obviously
That
closed.
would have been so interesting.
But if you don't know anything about it, the first thing I can say is if you've seen the film Nikita, it's where there's a huge scene involving a lot of death. I won't spoil the movie, but a really famous scene. That restaurant's probably famous because of it. But if you don't know that movie, which I'll link in the show notes too, there is it's in the Gare de Lyon train station, and it is opulent, stunning,
It looks
decadent.
like Versailles.
It does. It looks like a room
It's
from
like,
Versailles.
yeah, jewelry box, all golden and incredible.
And it will be expensive too. So that's my other
yeah.
expensive.
Okay.
There won't be anything cheap there, I'm sure. So that'll be a splash out thing. But it's number 5 on the list.
It's good.
Yeah.
This is really good.
And the idea is just to go in there and just enjoy it and just really experience it. You know, like to see what they've got. If it's as good, like
I wonder if they have like a classic. You know how a lot of places have like a classic on the menu. If they have one of those.
We'll find out.
That's
I
the
want to
thing
do
to
it
do.
properly. I want to go in there. If I just want to, I don't know. Maybe I can still meet someone and do an episode. But if
Just
not,
want to experience it.
yeah.
Yeah.
And if for you guys listening, especially if you don't have the budget to go to a fancy restaurant, you can go and peek in, which I've done several times. It's at the Gare de Lyon station. There's some stairs on one side, like 2 stairs going up, meeting in the middle, like something from Sound of Music or whatever. You go to the top, and you just step in there, and they'll probably be a little bit like, "Yes, madame, yes, sir, how can I help you?" And just say, "Just looking."
Just say, oh, I think I forgot a scarf.
Yeah.
And then just take a scarf.
I think I left my
From
umbrella.
the lost and found.
Fetch my umbrella, will you? And then go in. Yeah.
Yeah.
But or go in and have a coffee or something. But I never dared to in the old days. But now I will do it as it's the number 5 thing on the bucket list. So there's my list. What did you think of it?
I liked it. It was there were highs and there were lows. Yeah.
Friends became enemies,
like-
enemies became friends.
It's like
Mine was a bit more outdoorsy than yours, I feel. The Pet Cemetery.
It was
Yeah.
more of a scout.
Yeah. But look, so there's the idea. Lina and I, our goal now is let's make it interesting. Let's have a bet between ourselves too.
Okay.
If either of us don't make it through the top 5,
Ooh.
I say
Which one are you worried about?
from my list.
Yeah.
Let's have a look at my list again.
Okay, first say the punishment. What's the bet?
I think that the loser
Yeah.
has to buy the winner cocktails at an expensive cocktails at a hotel bar. Any.
Okay, that
Any
sounds
of them.
good.
They're all about the
Yeah.
same. Yeah. So like the
All
Ritz
right.
or the Maurice or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay. I
Deal.
think the hardest one for me might be Underground at the Opera because it might not be possible.
Yeah.
As in they maybe won't take me down there.
Yeah.
Or the St. James Hotel because it might be closed.
Interesting.
What about yours?
Well, I am a bit nervous about the croissant making course.
Really?
The more I say it, the more I think about it. I was like, I know 5 minutes ago I was all chevaleresque. And
Cavalier?
that's the one. And I was like, there are loads of them, and now I'm worried that there might be none.
You could probably just walk into a bakery and
Does
say, "You
it
wanna help?"
work if I just do it online?
No, it doesn't.
No.
I think the one
Okay.
with
All
your
right,
one.
well, that's the one I'm worried about.
Stay in a nice hotel. Do you know how much it costs to stay in like the Ritz?
Yeah, but I can hide behind like a big flower pot.
To stay, goodness
Yes.
me. So guys, that's our list. You've got our punishments. Here's what I propose. If you are planning to be in Paris, even if you just come for a week, you could play this very game. It's very easy.
Yeah.
The only rules are they have to be things you've not done before. That's the only rule. And you should put them in order from easiest to hardest. And what I think we'll do is I'll put it on Facebook and Instagram. I'll put our lists and I'll encourage people in the comments
To share theirs.
to share theirs. Just 1, 2, 3, 4,
Yeah.
5. And that way, if it's popular, I'll make a document or I'll make a bigger thing about it.
Hey,
If
it's
no
really
one cares,
good.
it will just be an Oliver and Lina thing.
It can become a movement.
A movement?
Yes, it's a
I
movement.
like it.
Yeah.
So that's, look, that's what we're going to do. And now you've heard it. That's our positive approach to tackling Paris in the year 2021. I think that'll do for now. I'll get onto an email, but Lina, thank you so much for being my guest.
Well, thank you for having me, and game on.
Good luck.
Well,
You better start saving those pennies for that cocktail.
You better sleep with one eye open.
So that was the episode. Lina, you're going to hang around for the email, I understand.
Yeah.
We could do a
I
little.
wouldn't miss it for the world.
We could do a little update on
Does it
Kylie as
involve
well.
me?
No.
Oh.
Usually people
Can
email.
you just like add me?
Often they email and they say, "Hey, Oliver and Lina," but this, no, they didn't care.
No. Okay. Fine.
It's from Brian Boyd, who signed up on Patreon for the
Lovely.
year, which
Ooh.
you can do now.
yes.
Sign up for the year. I sent out a newsletter. By the way, if you guys aren't signed up on the newsletter, there's like 5,000 people there now. That's crazy.
5,000 people can't be wrong.
That's true. So get in there and you get lots of news ahead of time. But after it, I said, why not sign up for the year on Patreon? And a bunch of people did. And I think Brian Boyd was part of that. But he says he emails me on Patreon and says, my dad and I have listened to all of your podcasts up to mid-February 2020. So he probably won't hear this for like a couple months. But he says, we're almost caught up. We listen to the Eiffel Tower on our daily drive around the chain of lakes in Minneapolis. Pretty exotic, isn't it?
Yeah.
I always love to hear where people listen. He says if we time it perfectly, we're able to get 2 episodes in one drive. I'd say it was about time I jumped in on Patreon, which he did. Patreon.com/theEiffelTower. He continues. And it's actually quite a long email there.
Oh yeah. Wow.
So I'm just going to skip ahead because I just noticed your name crops up.
Really?
Yeah. If you guys
Amazing.
ever want your emails read out on the show, add a question. And that is what Brian Boyd has done. He says... he talks a little bit about movies and stuff, but then he starts talking about when things get back to normal. And he says, question, where do you take Lina for dinner
Ooh.
and a movie?
Oh.
So, and he also asks if I'm afraid our local cinema would close. I think he's a bit of a cinephile. Our local cinema was Studio 28 in Montmartre, and I kind of doubt that would close.
Yeah.
That's been there
It
forever.
feels like it's protected by culture.
I bet the cinemas are
something.
protected in
Yeah.
Paris, but I don't know much about that. But in terms of where we go out for dinner, we used to go out in Montmartre a lot, and we never really talked about it on the show, but we had a restaurant called Chez Toinette.
Yeah, just like 20 meters
Yeah, 20 meters from
From
our
our
house
house.
that we've since moved out of. But it was that restaurant that I mentioned in Paris on Air.
Friendliest stuff,
So
really nice,
nice.
traditional food,
Yeah.
just lovely.
And
But-
they used to let us in for a drink after it was closed.
yeah,
That might
just
get them
hang
in
out with
trouble.
the
Do you think that would get them in
kitchen
trouble?
staff.
It
I don't
doesn't
think
matter
so.
because they've closed down,
Yeah,
unfortunately.
closed.
But my tip for you, Brian, and anyone else listening, if you want a nice restaurant in Paris, look for the ones where they're not totally dead, so there's a bit of a buzz in there. And you can also judge it by the atmosphere. Because similar to these nice bars we're going to go to, you might remember the waiting staff and the ambience just as much as the meal. And if you have that kind of attitude going in, you probably have a pretty
You won't be
positive memory.
disappointed.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because let's face it, sometimes the food can be disgusting.
Mediocre.
Yeah.
At best.
Maybe we should address that. In Paris, the food is brilliant, often very brilliant. Even like a baguette can be brilliant. But there are also tourist traps where the food is like gross and they make the quickest thing
Definitely.
possible. So go in with the idea of the ambience and search for that when you're looking for a restaurant. But I also see that he mentioned his favorite episode. He said, I almost forgot my favorite episode. This guy knows. He said, although The Crocodile in the Canal and Finding Mary are the Eiffel Tower's staple episode, one that comes to mind is when your buddies taught you all about the different cheeses from around the world. A similar wine episode from all the regions would be great too. Gotta run. Happy to be a Patreon. Thanks so much. Thanks so much, Brian Boyd. I don't think I ever did an episode about the cheese. I think that was just in the book.
Really?
I don't know.
Ah, I don't know either.
But that's a good idea. I want to do something about wine on this show. I've done it on YouTube before. Lina and I did blind wine taste testing with Tanisha Townsend.
That was fun.
And it worked visually because we could all sort of play along and show the bottles. But I think it's a great idea, Brian. I'll do it on the podcast too.
Great idea.
Final update. Kylie the Crocodile.
Yeah?
How are your thoughts on that, Lina?
Oh, still happy.
Your first
Still
book. We
Flying
didn't
high.
make enough of a deal about
no,
this. It's your
I know.
first
Just
book.
like everything happened so quickly.
You're a
and
published illustrator author.
Yeah, it's so exciting. It's so exciting.
It's pretty cool.
It's surreal, I think. I think that's the feeling.
And the update on it is we did that first print run of 2000. Almost sold out.
I know.
Crazy.
It's amazing.
And I mean it. Like there's a couple boxes left
Yeah.
in a couple different countries. And what we're going to do probably and I'm not trying to be dramatic here, but we're probably not going to do another print run.
No.
Just because it's a lot of work goes into it, and I want to focus on the podcast. But what we'll probably do is put it onto print on demand, which means when you order one, they'll print it for you.
Yeah, exactly.
And it won't be exactly
and
the
it
same.
won't go via us.
No.
And it will be a glossy cover, not a matte.
It won't be as beautiful, but it will be quick and it will be.
It'll be beautiful.
Yeah.
It will just be different.
It won't have the heart.
It won't have to.
But that's how they do it.
Yeah.
You just buy it off a website. But at the moment, you're going to get through us. So if you want one of the original ones, first print edition,
Yeah.
theeiffeltower.com/croc. If you want to follow us along on this bucket list 2021, find us on social media. Lina is Parisian Postcards. I am the Eiffel Tower. And we're going to be having some fun this year. We've got at least 10 things to do. That'll keep
I
us
know, I'm
going.
really excited. I'm looking forward to it.
Cool. I want to hear from you guys. What have you got? Find our posts on social media and respond to it. I want to see what you guys want to do. And
Be creative.
yes, be creative. Yes. Good luck, and may the odds be ever in your favor. May the odds be ever in your favor. I'll do it.
That's a joke, man.
Bye, guys.
Alright, bye.